Hey aliens, Yaz here. So today I'm gonna be reacting to some quote unquote true story animated videos. You've probably heard about or seen these videos. They're pretty horrible. They're just straight dog water. It just makes you angry. It makes me wanna I have no clue. It makes me angry, it annoys me. I don't know. So I'm gonna be reacting to two videos. One of them is called "My Son Is a Simp," and the other one is "My Parents Are Furries," something like that. So so as you can tell, I'm really just thrilled for this. Yeah, let's watch this shit.
Hey, my name's Toby, and I had a bit of an alternative upbringing. My therapist said sharing my story would help with my recovery, so here goes. I grew up on my parents' remote rural farm. The nearest town only had a gas station, post office, and an all-items trading shack. That's where my pa traded the beets, carrots, and corn we grew for cash and other supplies. My parents were different, only I never knew until I was much, much older. From birth, I only knew them as dogs. You see, my parents wore dog suits 24/7.
Yo, what the fuck is this? What? How does that not scare you at all, or just creep you out? Just like these dogs raising you, or like these humanoid dogs. This is what's the game like Duck Season? I have no idea what the game is called. But what's the game where we're like being hunted down by this dude in like a dog suit? Just horrifying. Yeah, it's like how do you not get scared out? I'm just confused. And also, why the audio sounds really just horrible. It's not like you can crackling, just horrible. Like get a better mic. Just you can afford you're getting so many views with all these quote unquote true stories. They're fake. Like you have the money to buy a new mic, just get a new one. Just so we don't have any more problems.
Giant fluffy dog costumes that covered their entire bodies and faces. I never saw them without fur. And they didn't do things by halves. So I had my own dog suit, with black and red fur, and these big wide ears. As far as I knew, we were just an ordinary little pack of dogs.
Yeah, you'd be a normal pack of dogs if you actually were dogs. Like you guys aren't dogs at all. You guys are just some humans, some people in fursuits. Like if I saw in real life, I just run the opposite direction and call the police. Like that is not normal. How have you guys not I don't how does nobody notice? Is it just you and a few other people? Just why? Like why even doing this at all in the first place? It's weird. Why aren't the parents hey yo, why are we doing this? Have they not just thought about that?
Actually, one of my earliest memories is of my ma, on all fours in the bathroom, saying, "You must never let anyone see your skin suit. Only take off your fursuit on Sundays to bathe."
Skin suit? What? Nah, nah. She said skin suits like she's saying, hey, skin is bad, fur good. What the hell is this? I'm probably just gonna just hit my desk. Um, I'll probably just switch to the next video. If I can even take this anymore. I have no clue.
There were no mirrors in the house, so the only time I ever really saw my own full skin face was in the blurry, rippled reflection in the bathwater. It was a sorry sight. Bald and pale. My dog face was much more handsome.
Trust me, your current face is 100 times better than your dog face. It's just a fact.
Anyway, Ma and Pa told me it was illegal to go around in just skin suits. They made a point of drilling into me that we would be put down if anyone ever saw us without our fursuits.
So you would get shot if you didn't have a fursuit on. I think this is taking place in Zootopia and not here on Earth. I think I might be correct on that one.
Of course, that horrified me, to the point where I had never even left the farm boundaries. Paul was the only one allowed into town to do his trades. In the whole 15 years of my existence, I had never
It's a fake ass smile if I've ever seen one.
seen anyone other than my own dog parents.
Look how she walks away with that smile. She's like, yeah, she's like saying, hey, don't hurt me. Hey, you creepy as fuck. Don't try anything.
Naturally, I was homeschooled. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Paul basically just taught me dog mannerisms, like how to dig up beets and pee outside against a tree.
What the fuck? What? Huh? It, what? This is like taking like being afraid to an entirely other level. This is like the danger zone. What the hell? What? I don't what? If there's any more weird stuff, then I'm gonna dip and move on to the next video.
Out of an opening in my suit. As I grew, Mom sewed me bigger and bigger suits, with more fur and larger features. Every now and then, I'd finish my weekly bath and find a new suit laid out beside my bed. Some nights, I'd be lying in my bed and would hear weird howling noises coming from my parents' room. But I was a little afraid of Pa, so I never dared to ask about it. I just put my paws over my ears and try to sleep. To me, it was normal.
For everyone over the age of 12, it's pretty apparent of what they were doing. It's pretty obvious.
But everything changed the day there was an unexpected knock on the front door. I started barking like mad, while Ma and Pa frantically ran around the house. Suddenly, a face appeared at the window. Through a gap where one of the old boards had fallen off, I saw eyes staring at me, and a strange skin face. It was kind of like the reflection I'd seen in the bath, but at the same time completely foreign. Without warning, bright flashes of light burst through the hole and lit up the room. I yelped in shock, sensing we were in danger, but not knowing why or what it was. Defensively, I stood up on my hind legs and pawed at the gap. Pa pushed me out of the way and shouted in a deep, booming voice, "You are trespassing! You need to leave now!" The light disappeared and I heard the sound of footsteps running off into the distance.
I think they ran off because they saw that it was a furry screaming at them. If it was just some normal guy, yeah, they'd be scared, but some person in the dogs, yeah, they'd be running for the hills to Narnia.
I was so confused. Ma explained that it was a man, and we couldn't let him near us because he didn't have his fursuit on. The next day, our house was raided. The door was kicked down and more men with smooth, furless suits and naked skin faces swarmed the property. Before I knew it, I was pulled away from my parents and dragged into a waiting car, separated from them for the first time in my life.
Great that you weren't near them, and you got taken away from them. Like no kid should like have parents like that. They're just weird, and like it's great that you got raided. Fantastic, true story. This is an incredibly true story. Like I would show this to my grandkids. That's how true this is.
I was in sensory overload. Half of me was convinced I was about to die, while the other half of me thought I was in some kind of surreal dream. I was taken to a place where they kept trying to take off my fursuit. I lashed out and tried to bite them, not understanding that they were just medics, wanting to check me over. That was 4 years ago. Apparently, the face at the window that day was a man from the land surveyor's office. He was on a routine visit, but instead took photos and notified the authorities of my living conditions. My parents were charged, and I ended up being placed into foster care.
Great job. It's great that they got sent to prison. I'm talking like this is an actually true story. This isn't. I'm just playing along just for the jokes. Alright.
It's been tough adjusting to what everyone else calls normal life. I've had to learn to read and write a bit, and really miss the comfort and warmth of my fursuit. It was a big part of my identity.
Well, now that we're done with that horrible, completely fake video, let's move on to another fake, horrible video about someone's son being a simp.
Hello, I'm May, and I think I've raised a simp. But I can't tell you his real name in case anyone recognizes him, so for this story, I'll just call him Hans.
Either this story is true or the story is fake. Vote in the comments below. And also, there's like no parents that knows the term simp, or cause like parents like don't know anything about like Gen Z culture or anything like that.
Anyway, I've always known Hans was special. As a small boy, he loved going to the park, but instead of playing on the swings with the other children, he would spend the whole time off by himself under a tree somewhere, digging in the dirt with a stick or pulling back the tree's bark looking for insects. Hans developed a full-blown obsession with bugs.
That kinda seems normal. I have no idea. Like, it can be like, yeah, he's into bugs. He can be like a veterinarian. Yeah, he's into bugs. He's cool. It can be interpreted like that, but like, let's just watch the video.
Spiders were his absolute favorite. He would constantly remind us that most female spiders eat the males when they're done with them. Boys are useless, he'd say. Girls are the real queens.
Pardon me, but what the fuck? That is not true. That even if this is true, I highly doubt that. Well, what? Like, this doesn't make any sense. This is like when like people like tweet online or to say something, or like that is completely fake. I'll probably just put up something on screen.
I didn't think much of it at the time, but looking back now, that's the logic he applied to people as well. On the way to school, Hans would offer to carry his older sister's backpack, saying girls needed to be looked after. They are the mothers of the future. During his 3rd grade parent-teacher conference, his teacher praised his manners and said Hans was a little gentleman. She told us how he'd always offer to come out to the front to sharpen girls' pencils and would hold open the classroom door for them. But for some reason, Hans still seemed to struggle to make friends.
Gee, I wonder why he couldn't make any friends.
He only ever hung out with one boy at school, who he had a few things in common with. It got worse once he became a teenager. He started spending all of his free time alone in his room or on the computer gaming. After our daughter moved out, my husband began to worry that Hans might be turning gay from spending all that time online playing with other boys.
Some great logic right there. Hey, my son is playing online with other dudes. I think he's turning gay. Yep, that's perfect logic right there.
As far as I knew, he'd never even been on a single date. But one afternoon, Hans burst into the kitchen and begged to borrow my credit card. Apparently, he'd found a site where he could pay girls to play with him online. The prices seemed reasonable, so I gave it to him. Secretly, I hoped Hans might connect with the girl and they'd meet up in real life.
If your son is that much of a loser where he has to pay girls to play with him, you have to sit him down and have a talk. I mean, like, you need to learn some stuff. You're a loser. You can't get a day at all. You don't even have any friends that are girls. You're just being nice to girls.
Pretty soon his bedroom walls were decorated with photos he'd printed out of the young ladies he was playing with.
That's some serial killer shit right there. Like, serial killer, like having the photos of his victims. This man is an entirely other level.
Sometimes I'd overhear him talking to one of them. "You're so pretty. If you need anything, just let me know." He seemed so much happier. Until one day he seemed really down. He confided in me that whenever he played with a girl gamer, the other guys online would make rude and sexist remarks towards her. Of course, he'd always jump in to defend the damsel in distress, but the other guys had turned on him for it instantly.
Bro, this man is such a white knight that whenever he yells at other dudes, he like has to stand up. Like, damn, calm down.
Teasing him. I just told him to ignore it and to keep doing what he thought was right. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for my husband. He hit the roof when he found out that Hans had been using my credit card to pay girls to play with him. "I don't want any son of mine behaving like a simp," he yelled.
Well, even the dad knows what a simp is. Crazy.
I think hearing that triggered something in Hans, because after that he started uploading videos to his YouTube teasing other guys for simping. He'd call his father and I into the room to watch them as though he was trying to win his father's approval. "That's more like it," my husband said. "Teach those viewers to be men, not mice."
I can tell that this dude peaked in high school.
Anyway, the videos were popular and his channel grew quickly. Hans actually started making money from them. But as fast as the money came in, he spent it. I'll never forget the first time Hans made a sizable donation to some girl online. He stood in his bedroom doorway yelling down the hall, Mom, I can't believe it. She noticed me. She said my name on stream."
Teenagers aren't like this. They'll for Sims, they'll be like, "Yo, she said my name." Crazy. I think this Hans guy is acting like this because his mom is like, "Hey, do what you love. Follow your heart."
A few weeks after that, he asked his father and I if he could invite a girl around for dinner. My heart did a little jump for joy when Hans told me that he'd actually fallen for one of the girls he'd been paying to play with. "That's great, honey," I said. "Do you want to ask her over this Saturday evening?" "Not yet. Soon. She has a boyfriend at the moment. But don't worry. I just messaged her and told her I love her. When she realizes how much love I can give, she'll break up with him to be with me."
Wow. Such a 1000 IQ dream Minecraft speedrun manhunt play. She has a boyfriend, but I'm gonna tell her that I love her. So that way she'll break up with him. That is so smart. I'll try that on the next girl I know. She definitely won't reject me.
"Until then, I'll do whatever I can to help her, Mom." Hans went on to explain how he'd been paying for her OnlyFans and then making videos about it for his YouTube channel to help her get more exposure. "People love it when I talk about her private content and make fun of simps. They actually think I'm doing them a favor. So my videos do well," he said. "It's a win-win for everyone." "Oh, so you're like the knight in shining armor," I replied. "Exactly." "Enough. This is getting out of hand. Now you're simping to make money?"
If I had to simp for money, I would take it. It's money, alright? It's either getting yelled at by Karens for working for minimum wage, or just doing nice stuff for a girl to make money. It's great.
"You're a disgrace," his father yelled as he stormed off, leaving me standing there, totally confused. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it all. My husband seems to think being a simp is bad, but Hans' YouTube channel is doing great, and everyone else seems to be happy. So maybe his simping isn't such a bad thing after all? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
I think this video is fake. That's what I think. So, now that we're done with the videos, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow. Later.